Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Real Talk with Danny Lobel. I'm your host, which makes me Danny Lobel. I'm very excited today to have my guest, John Basedow, on the show. He's a fitness guru. I like to say the word guru because it makes me sound like I'm on daytime television. Nobody says fitness guru in real life. He's a fitness guy. He's a fitness expert. He's very good at fitness. I'm very bad at fitness, so there's a lot to talk about. Thank you, John, for being on the show. Thank you for being my guest.
No problem, Danny. Glad we could work it out, actually. Yes, you can call me the fitness dude. That's the official title right there.
I imagine that anytime you're on daytime television, you would get introduced as a fitness guru. I don't know why, but they love the word guru on daytime. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, I'd give you a thumbs up. I'm getting used to this Yackit technology. For those of you who are just watching live, Yackit has a built-in non-talk over somebody system over here. We actually have a little purple box on us. We can only talk when the purple box. So I can never interrupt him, and he can never interrupt me. But he can take control back. Yeah, on daytime TV, they like the word guru. For some reason, they grab the word fitness celebrity from my TV commercials a lot, and that's tongue-in-cheek and funny. So whatever you want, as long as you spell the name right and use a good picture, I'm pretty much happy with it.
I'm just going to say guy who's in way better shape than I am. How about that? Does that work? So much to ask you. I think the first question that comes to my mind when talking to someone who's an expert in fitness is that there's got to be a big disconnect mentally between what goes on when I hear the word fitness in my brain and when you hear the word fitness in your brain. Probably when you hear the word fitness, it's the same as when I hear the word pizza. There's got to be a certain excitement that you have. And my question to you is, how do I change that in my head so that fitness doesn't seem evil to me? Because I'm going to expand on this a little more. Without breaking too much code, I did used to, and I say used to because I just moved and I haven't found them yet, attend anonymous meetings for overweight people. And in one of these such meetings, the concept of exercise came up, and everybody was talking about how we can't, I say we as in us, the fat community, cannot wrap our brain around, forget about going to the gym, forget about which fitness for me to do or how to get started, or everyone says do cardio first or whatever. The biggest step for me is the fear of getting over just even the word fitness to me makes me want to recoil and go to sleep and not even face that word. What advice do you have on that?
Okay, well, first of all, you talk about a common topic. I always say, and the one thing that makes Fitness Made Simple a lot different than other programs is fitness begins in the mind, okay, bottom line. You could have the greatest exercise routine, you could have the greatest trainer, you could have the greatest meal plan. You are never going to get the results that you want, and you are never going to stick to that program until you turn that switch in your head to make fitness a priority each and every day. And it's not necessarily just going to the gym every day, but it is basically taking ownership for what you put in your mouth, and it is getting activity every single day. And the other thing about it is you cannot make fitness a game of how miserable you can make yourself. Now, you're talking to somebody in myself who was a bowling pin-shaped guy. Okay, I liked every fast food restaurant. At Taco Bell, it was the at Burger King, it was the Junior Whopper with cheese. At McDonald's, it was the Big Mac. At Arby's, it was the bacon cheddar melt. And White Castle, my favorite, was the 10-pack with the onion rings and the iced tea package combo meal, because pleasing to the palate and also pleasing to the wallet, because instead of like 43 cents, the burgers were now 39 cents a piece. So you got me. When it's cheap and when it's tasty, that was me. But bottom line is, when I wanted to make fitness a part of my life, I had to turn that switch in my head. You have to have a greater desire to change than comfort level with your current situation. I hated the way I looked. I couldn't stand taking pictures, and I wanted to change. pretty much. And I made that a decision, and I knew that in order to change how I was looking, I was going to have to change how much I was exercising and how much I was eating, and I made the commitment to do that in baby steps, first trying every different media-hype fitness program there was, then basically creating my own with what's in my book, the Fitness Made Simple program, which is based on the fitness triangle. And that's pretty much how I did it, but it's making the mental commitment that comes first, so you're very true about that. And you've got to stop whatever you're thinking now. When you think, like in the past, like, I dread fitness, I dread it, that's not the way you're supposed to look at it. There are days that I dread going to the gym too, but I always feel better when I leave, and I try to concentrate on that. If I have a head of steam because I'm upset about what's going on at work, or if I'm upset with what's going on with personal things or whatever, I know that when I go to the gym, even if I drag my ass there in the beginning, I'm going to feel better about the problems when I get out, and a lot of times I'm going to have a solution. Because you get the endorphins going, you clear your mind, you focus on other things.
The thing that stuck out in all that you said just now is the baby steps to me. I want to talk about that. You say take baby steps, and everybody talks about baby steps. First of all, I want you to know I never even crawled as a child. I found that out many years later. My parents told me that I went from nothing to walking. I never had a crawling phase, and they were very concerned about me, and they took me to doctors to see if there was a developmental problem, and all the doctors could conclude was that I was a lazy baby. So I've actually hated fitness from the crawling stage. So even baby steps are not very good. I dread sweating. I like to hold on to my sweat. I don't like to let it leave my body. I don't know why. Maybe it's a financial thing. I feel like I paid for those calories. Unlike you, I'm not a fast food guy, and I probably pay more per calorie. So there's that. There's a money loss thing. I'm walking with an investment here. But on a more serious note, what are the baby steps that you would recommend to me or to someone who absolutely hates the idea? Because that's why I find this conversation so fascinating with you, is that I literally hate the idea of fitness. I belonged to a gym, and I used to go to the gym with my friend Sam. We were both chubby kids. He got like in great shape, became a firefighter. I used to lie on the bench press and fall asleep until somebody would be like, "Hey, I want to use that bench press," and he'd wake me up. I'd be like, "Give me 5 more minutes." What's the first baby step? Because I need a tiny little baby step, like I need a fetal step.
Well, as I said, first of all, when you have to turn that switch in your head to make fitness a priority into every day. That's when you start baby steps. And what I say by baby steps is I'm saying doing one thing better fitness-wise, one fitness improvement, whether you hate it or not. If you are not happy with how you're looking, if you're not happy with what your health is like right now, or God forbid if you're in a medical danger zone or have a predisposition to a disease in later life, when doctors say, like, for instance, you have a pre-diabetic condition, you're at risk for heart disease, you're at risk for high blood pressure, whatever, or women, you're at risk for osteoporosis. I mean, men can be too, but it's more likely women. The thing is, you want to be proactive and address those problems. But as far as baby steps with fitness, one thing better fitness-wise each and every day. You can start off by saying, I'm going to do 50 stomach crunches. If you can't do 50, if you can only do 10 the first day, you do 10. And then you challenge yourself the next day to do 11, or you do 12. The whole reason behind baby steps is this, Danny. Most people think of fitness, as you said, a game, and I commented on, a game of how miserable you can make yourself. If you're overweight, if you're sedentary, and then you think, let's say you're 40 pounds overweight, and you think about the end goal being in shape, so that's point A to point Z. Well, every day you feel like a failure, because no matter what you're doing, your body changes slowly. So you're not seeing yourself getting to that minus 40 pounds and being in shape. And also, if you're not used to exercising, exercise is torture. And if you're not used to watching what you're eating, dieting or being on a nutrition plan to you may be deprivation. So when you combine torture and deprivation, you make yourself miserable. And you also feel like a failure because each and every day you don't see yourself closer to the goal because you don't see the little tiny changes. What I'm saying to do is, if you positively take one baby step forward, as I said, first day, 50 stomach crunches. If you can't do 50, do 10, do 20. Next day, try to do a little bit more. Next day, after that, what you want to try to do is eliminate one high-calorie food, one processed food, one food in a box bag or wrapper that you crave, that you know is not part of your fitness plan. And each and every day, you do one little thing and you compound upon it fitness-wise. At the end of the month, you're going to be 30 times better, but you're also going to feel like a winner. Because every day that you accomplish a goal, you give yourself a proverbial pat on the back. And you look forward to the next day, as opposed to if you're just looking from point A to point Z, and you feel like a loser every day because you're not closer to that goal.
Do you ever still get White Castle, or is that gone? You ever do it once in a while?
Well, no. As a matter of fact, I mean, this is just my opinion because I don't want White Castle to come after you for being on the show. But I mean, I used to have those all the time, and the thing is now that your body craves what it's given over time. So if you feed it burgers and fries, it's not that it was born to crave those things. It craves them because that's what it's living on. It wants to just live. It doesn't give a damn how you look. So the thing is, if you're giving it burgers and fries, it says, I want burgers and fries. And the biological reality is that Mother Nature is a bitch, and she played a dirty trick on us. Basically, it takes us 4 to 6 weeks to stop craving what we're eating and start craving new things that we want to eat or that we start eating. And going through that 4 to 6 week time period of getting rid of bad cravings, it's like going through detox for a drug addict. However, once you do that, your body starts craving what it's living on. So when I was eating chicken breast and vegetables, salads, in the beginning it was hard. Now my body craves that. That's what I look forward to. If I went back to eating greasy burgers or greasy fries and stuff like that, I actually get sick because my body's moved away from it. So your body will work with you. You've just got to get over that 4 to 6 week time period. So no, I don't crave burgers. I don't crave fries. I don't eat red meat at all anymore. Anyway, and I'm mostly like what do they call? I'm pretty much like semi-vegetarian, but I do have chicken and fish. So just no red meat. Because I can't get over the chicken and the fish for the protein. But I look forward to those things, and I like eating natural choices, things that are not in a box, bag, or wrapper. As I always say, if it's made by man, you don't want to put it in your mouth.
I've always said that too. Now, I kid you. I want to comment on the meats and vegetables because I watch all these documentaries on Netflix, and I always freak myself out that I'm getting cancer because there's about 100 of them that'll just make you believe that you've got cancer, and then by the end of it, there's probably at least one documentary that after watching the documentary itself gives you cancer. I'm not sure of that, but it's quite possible. But what I'm getting at here is that many documentaries that I've seen on the Netflix have told me that eating animal proteins causes cancer. Is there any truth to this? Because they're saying just eat raw foods or you will die of cancer. Just eat vegetables, which seems very boring. I think we're supposed to be omnivore, but I don't. According to Netflix, people are saying also no milk. Have you heard anything about this? No milk, no meat, just vegetables, or you will die of cancer. Is that a thing that you've heard of?
Well, basically, I'm sure you know the media tends to hype a lot of things up, and I mean, pretty much anything you do nowadays, somebody can link to, causing cancer. And we don't know all the causes of cancer. However, we do want to avoid certain high-risk things. They talk about the hormonal manipulation, steroids being used in cattle and red meat and stuff like that, which is what's causing, girls to go through, boys to go through puberty faster, also, girls to have certain issues and things like that, and also some of the, estrogen, stuff that's put in some of the additives of other processed foods. Anything that affects the hormonal manipulations and hormonal biochemistry of our bodies can have a detrimental effect. I don't know if the exact studies linking directly from having meat to cancer, but there's enough basic buzz, and I always think when there's enough smoke, there's usually fire somewhere, and I stay away from it. Plus, I'm not really a big fan of a lot of meat anyway. I mean, back in the day I was, but now I'm not. So I pretty much stay clear of it. Vegetables are awesome. You also have to watch, a lot of people say, well, vegetables can cause cancer because of the pesticides that they're grown in. It's got to be only organic with no pesticides. The thing is, and then they say artificial sweeteners, which have, I mean, I've seen a lot of documentation and a lot of like reports and stuff like that on artificial sweeteners, particularly one of them causing like neurological disturbances, making you dumber, causing eye problems, causing anything that affects the central nervous system. So anything in regards to the central nervous system, the brain, optically, things like that are being affected by artificial sweeteners. Once again, a lot of people say those studies are bogus. A lot of people find holes in them as far as the controls used, as far as the experimental groups used. But there's enough buzz that makes me want to stay away from artificial sweeteners. And I also don't like them enough to take the chance, pretty much. So I'm not a big fan of meat. I'm not a big fan of processed foods. I do know, let's put it this way. Our parents, back in the day, felt smoking was okay. Smoking was cool. It was something anybody could do. Nowadays, if you smoke, you're like a leper. You have to be segregated from the rest of the population so that people aren't even around you. You don't know what the things around today, the artificial sweeteners, basically ways meat is grown and meat is processed nowadays. You don't know what we're going to find out 10, 20 years down the road. So if there's already smoke and you don't enjoy it that much, stay away from it. The other thing is, if you do enjoy it that much, have it in moderation. Just don't go crazy. A lot of times the studies that are studying for cancer and testing positive for cancer are looking at large amounts of these items or consuming large amounts of these items. If you have something sparingly, I always think moderation is the key. I love chocolate, okay? I also know that if I eat too much chocolate, I'm going to get fat and, I'm not going to be where I want to be fitness-wise. However, I do know how much I can get away with. And now, a bite or two of dark chocolate, which is actually my favorite, it's not that I consider it naturally healthier. It is healthier, I think, than regular chocolate, but it's nowhere healthier than vegetables or other natural choices. But if I want dark chocolate, I'm going to have a bite of it every single time, and that now satisfies me. I don't have to have the whole dark chocolate cake or dark chocolate bar. Same thing with meat or anything else you're craving. Have it sparingly, satisfy your craving, get over with it, and if you do enough research that you think it's something you don't want in your meal plan, take it out.
Is it wrong that after having spoken to you now for a good 15 minutes or so, the thing on my mind is, man, I really want some chocolate. I'm kidding around. But I could walk away with that message easily. From talking to, I talked to a fitness expert. I got to tell you, I went out and bought some chocolate right afterwards. It was a good time. What did I want to comment on there with So, you're talking about when there's smoke, there's fire. There's smoke on everything, though. Now, so I'm going back to the Netflix example. I watched a movie called Plastic Planet. I don't know if you've heard of it. They said that anything plastic is causing cancer. So I stopped getting plastic in my house, which is very hard to avoid. You're saying yes? Like, have you seen the movie? Yes? No? I'll put it back to you. Hold on. I'll come right back here.
I haven't seen the movie. I'm not familiar with that, but I know where you're leading to with plastic bottles. I haven't done an extensive amount of research, but I understand that with plastic bottles, what happens is that's what I was talking about with the estrogens. There's certain compounds and stuff like that that leak off or get into whatever substance in the plastic bottle, for instance, bottled water. And they think that especially in the man and stuff like that, is causing higher estrogen levels, which is going to, of course, affect a man's biochemistry and hormonal processes in his body. So that's why people are saying to stay away from bottled water and things along those lines. It definitely is something that requires further research, I think. But, I also, when I'm really concerned about something, I will do a lot of web research on it. We have, in this day and age, we have technology at our fingertips, okay? Bottom line is, yes, what you said before is right. There is smoke about everything, but to see how real the smoke is, as opposed to just a few haters of something coming out, or a few, like, I call them, the chicken littles, the sky is always falling. As far as, they're always going to complain about something. They're like cloud people. No matter what, there's a cloud of doom hanging over them and something bad is going on. So, to discern between those people and also actual fact and something that has substance that you should stay away from, do your own research. See where those studies are coming from. Look for peer-reviewed journals. Look for basically a common theme and a lot of support for a single idea from a lot of different people. Then you start seeing that there may be some validity in it. And also see where it's coming from. Make sure it's not a hate group against a certain company, because all of a sudden companies, in business, follow the dollar. A lot of times a company that's in competition with another company will start spreading bad rumors, to give it bad PR. So see where the talk is coming from and make your own decisions from there, but do as much research as you possibly can. I learn new things every single day, and I find out some things that I thought in the past were correct may not be as perfect as I thought they were, and there's always changes being made. That's what happens with advances in technology and from day-to-day learning.
All right, so just to recap, the reason I have man boobs is the estrogen in plastic, not my fault. The reason I'm not as sharp as I'd like to be has to do with diet soda, also not my fault. I like this. The more I listen to you, the better I feel about myself, and I think that's the point. It's, okay, let's keep talking about fitness a little bit. Let's say I've taken that first step. I've decided I'm going to do a few things a day. I'm doing a few stomach crunches, as you mentioned. I think that's the same as a sit-up, but I'm not sure. I'm not hip to the lingo, but I've done that, and now I'm signing up for a gym, hypothetically speaking. I should be anyway, but let's say I'm really doing it, and I'm signing up for a gym. I'm an overweight guy. I also am an extremely paranoid Jew, and constantly thinking I'm dying, and I also have a thing when I've gone to gyms in the past, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack on the machine. I think it's mostly psychosomatic or whatever, but what is the good recommendation of how to start if you're grossly out of shape and you go to a gym so that A, you don't burn out, and B, you don't die of a Jewish heart attack?
Well, you don't want to do too much too soon. That's the first thing. The biggest reason people hate the gym and also fail at their fitness program is they try to overwhelm themselves. They, once again, think of that A to Z philosophy, and they try to go whole hog right from the get-go. I don't agree with that. If you feel comfortable and you see a trainer, and one thing I recommend, you don't have to go with a trainer all the time, but if you don't know a lot, besides obviously getting the Fitness Made Simple book, plug, which gives you everything you could possibly want as far as the whole lean muscle building workout program and detailed nutritional meal plan of what you should eat. It gives you, step by step of everything. If you were going, to a gym and wanted some advice, ask some people at the gym whose body parts you like, okay? And what I mean by that is if your program is so good, or if what you're going to say is so good, you should look like some sort of walking after example of what you're talking about. So if you see a guy with good abs, if you see a guy with good guns, or you see a guy with the general physique that you want to have, that you want to emulate, ask what he's doing to get there, because that's going to be the first step in making a positive change in your body. But the key to starting out is not to do too much too soon. You want to split body parts, like for instance I talk about in the book. I do like chest and back on day one, then on day, when you're starting out, I say work out one day, rest, work out another day, so it's an every other day workout, meaning 3 to 4 days a week. That's a great way to get started. Gives your body a chance to break down muscle fibers in the beginning, and also a rest day, because what people don't realize is that muscles grow bigger and stronger when they have a chance to be fed properly and also enough rest to recuperate from the exercise. They don't grow from the exercise. You break them down with the exercise, pulling apart muscle fibers, but they regrow bigger and stronger when then fed properly and given adequate rest. When you're first starting out, day on, day off is cool. You can then move to 2 days on, 1 day off. Believe me, if you start slow in the gym and you start feeling the endorphins going and you start not trying to do too much too soon and push yourself too hard in the beginning, you're going to look forward to it the next day and, stick with it more than if you really try to go whole hog and go crazy in the beginning like you see so many people do, and then you never see them again. Why do you think gym memberships are insane in January with New Year's resolutions, and then all of a sudden come February, it's like a ghost town?
I'm not going to answer that question. I think it was rhetorical, but I know what you mean. So, I have these man boobs that I can't stand. I've had them for a while. I don't know where I got them. Probably from a gypsy. Now, I used to go to the gym try to get rid of them, and people would tell me, they'd say, be careful what you do, because you don't want to build muscle over fat. I don't know what that means, or if they knew what they were talking about. By your facial expression, I think these people were idiots, but maybe not. Is there such a concept as building muscle over fat? Part A of my question. Part B, quickest way to get rid of man boobs without surgery. Back to you, John.
I never really heard of, I mean, there's a couple of types of fat. There's subcutaneous body fat. It's basically fat is between the skin and the muscle layer. That's why when people are getting ready for a fitness contest, you see them decreasing body fat to the point that the skin is like almost cellophane on the muscle. So fat is largely between the skin and the muscle, and then of course there's visceral fat. Visceral fat is around in the internal organs. Okay. So I have no idea. First of all, I mean, there are people that say muscle turns into fat. It doesn't turn into fat, okay? I mean, obviously, muscle can get less firm and atrophy and then can sag, okay? But fat is fat, and muscle is muscle. One does not turn into the other. Muscle does burn fat, though, meaning the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, period. Okay, so that's why even with women, I always advise doing weight training, and they say, well, am I going to get big and bulky like, Arnold Schwarzenegger? I'm like, no, honey. As long as you don't have an inordinate amount of testosterone in your body floating around, you are not going to get big and bulky. What you're going to do is you're going to get lean and defined. That muscle, just to survive, is going to burn fat 24/7, even while you're sleeping. So the key there, generally, man boobs, okay, if they're firm, they're called pecs. Like when you see like bodybuilders and stuff like that, and they have definition in their chest, it's the pectoral muscle is just defined, and it's a thin layer of skin and not much fat over it at all. Obviously, what you're talking about with the estrogens can definitely cause man boobs. Okay, so you always want to have your blood levels. This is aside from that, just in general, a guy pretty much, I would say, yearly should have a blood test, especially as guys start, getting into their 30s and stuff like that, which can test their testosterone and also their estrogen levels. Because what happens is, if your estrogen level rises too high and your testosterone level drops too low, you can develop man boobs even if you're working out, okay? That's why people on steroids sometimes have man boobs when they go off steroids, because what happens is they have all this artificial testosterone, they're firm, they're toned, but the extra testosterone, what happens, converts to estrogen. There's an enzyme in the body which converts testosterone to estrogen, which is called an aromatase enzyme. And then when you pull off the steroids, you decrease in testosterone, but you have all this extra estrogen, so you grow man tits, and what's called gynecomastia, which a lot of times has to have surgery. For a guy who's not on steroids, even if you have an inordinate amount of estrogen in your body, you can have man breasts. Also, if you have extra fat, you can, because that's fat over the muscle, though, in general. I've never heard of really the fat being under the muscle, but bottom line is, the way to get rid of that, to answer the second part of your question, is you want to do cardio, number one, to reduce overall body fat. You can't spot reduce. You can spot tone. You can develop phenomenal abs, okay, really chiseled abs. But if you have a natural layer of body fat over it, you're never going to see the abs. It's like having a washboard with a pillow over it. You have to reduce the pillow to a pillowcase in order to see the definition. So you can have great development, but not great definition. In order to get rid of that extra fat, you have to reduce fat all over the body. Do that by morning cardio. I talk about that in the book too. Basically, try to get up to 40 minutes in the morning. It doesn't matter whether you're first shift, second shift, third shift. It just has to be before breakfast. Because when you wake up from anywhere for like 8 hours sleeping fast, or even if you have less, your blood sugar, your insulin levels are low and stable. It's the best environment to burn stored body fat for energy, period. Okay, you're going to maximize fat burning at that time. Secondly, you want to do exercises that help build, sculpt, and tone the muscles. So for the chest, I would go for also more reps, and, not necessarily the heaviest weights, but, you want to build the muscle, but you don't necessarily want to, overly build it. So I would go for weights that I could handle maybe about 10 to 12 reps with, 10 to 15 reps with. and then go up in weight when you're easily able to do between 10 and 15 reps, when you're no longer challenging yourself. That combined with the cardio should reduce your body fat, build your muscle, reduce a lot of those man boobs, but definitely get your blood levels checked for testosterone and estrogen levels, because even if you're doing everything perfectly, if your testosterone and estrogen is out of whack, you're not going to get the results you want.
Are you calling me a woman?
No. I'd have to see a test on that.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. The book is called Fitness Made Easy. John, always very generous with your time and knowledge. I appreciate you being a guest on the show here. If you're downloading the show later on Yackit, you can find John on Twitter. And I'll let you plug everything and every way people can find you. And I really appreciate it. You are a vast wealth of knowledge, sir. And I hope, if you had to predict, without jinxing anything, how long do you think you'll live? Because I think fitness people are supposed to outlive all of us. Is that correct?
Well, as I always say, with fitness you're ageless. So with Fitness Made Simple, sky's the limit, baby. We'll just see. It's a hard.
You heard it here. He will live to 200 years old. So you have plenty of time to get the book and get it signed. John, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you finished talking there. I'll send it back over to you so you can plug everything. And here you go.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, with Fitness Made Simple, you are ageless. If anything kills me, it'll be the stress from the TV industry. But if you want to get in touch with me, guys, you can check me out on twitter.com/John Basedow. I'm also doing a lot of non-fitness related and some other things that I've been doing, like a new show called New Media Stew, which is about celebrity pop culture news and some other stuff that I'm involved in on my new YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/John Basedow. And if you guys want to catch my live show, you can go to Conduit, KONDOOT.com/John Basedow tonight at 9 o'clock, and I'll be answering questions live on there, and it's a brand new show that I'm doing with the Conduit company, awesome people, new live broadcasting service, and you can check out my book whenever you want, and if you write Yackit in the if you go to, let's get this, if you go to fitnessmadesimple.com today, today only, and you order the Fitness Made Simple book, which comes with a free DVD. You can do ab workouts with me. You can do stretches with me. And you write Yackit in the promotional code, you will get a signed book and also an extra fat-burning workout DVD just for Danny over there.
So you're sending me a book and a DVD? Is that what you're saying? I'm just trying to figure this out.
No, I would say... Well, if you want one, yes, we can definitely send you one, Danny. But no, I was saying to the listeners out there, the viewers out there, if they want to go to fitnessmadesimple.com and they order the book, they order the Fitness Made Simple book, you can write Yackit, Danny's broadcast service over here, into the promotional code. It's in the special instructions area, and then you will get a free fat-burning workout DVD too to jumpstart your fitness efforts. And as I say, this thing is like my fitness Bible. It's everything that I did to go from a bowling-shaped guy to whatever you see on TV now, and it has the complete exercise, nutrition program in there. It lays everything out to you soup to nuts. It's like a blueprint for building the body that you're after. And you can also then keep up with me on Twitter and Facebook and let me know about your progress, and I'll try to help you out as best I can. You heard it here, folks. I'm getting a free book and DVD. John, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you being on the show. Eat your heart out, listeners. It's great to be me. Free stuff all the time. But I highly recommend you. You'd be stupid not to get it. You would be stupid not to get it, because the man is a fitness guru. See, I said the guru again. Brought it all back. That's how I tied the show up. That is a great dog. What kind of dog is that? She had to come on. She's been waiting. She's on my live show all the time, and she's in a lot of the videos. Plus, she gets fan mail. Her name is Midnight. She is a skipper key. Here you go, Midnight. Say hello. I'm Midnight, damn it. Look at me. Anyway, she's a skipper key. She is my little partner in crime, and she's becoming a freaking huge star. So Google skipper key, and you'll see all about this crazy dog. But she pops in everywhere. She's a media whore. What can I say? Ah! This is my dog, Bale, and I believe he's up for some of the same roles as your dog.
So I'll see you in the casting room, Basedow.
Oh, what's that? Wait, is that a, hold on. Is that a little Boston Terrier?
He sure is. He sure is. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. That's the show for today. Say goodbye there. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to Real Talk with me, Daniel Bell. John Basedow, go get the book, Fitness Made Simple. This guy is brilliant and a very nice guy. Thanks for doing the show. Goodbye, everybody, and have a great week. Bye-bye.